We're doing our late live show, which usually is about an hour late because someone comes and messes it up. And that's pretty much exactly what happened here. I was actually going to do this earlier than usual, and then these, unforeseen circumstances and things like that. I have another relationship video out this week, and it's going to, I think, be somewhat entertaining. I've tried to keep my points consistent and also just sort of lead someone to my position. So expect that by maybe, I'd say Wednesday. Yeah, it's just it's me addressing a lot of the claims people make in reference to my position on that topic, because sometimes I do think about what the opinions are of those who have not experienced this, and I try to put myself in the shoes of those people, ironically enough, because part of my discontent was the fact that it seemed as if these people could do anything but try to see where you were coming from, at least, in some genuine, non hostile, non condescending way. So, yeah, I look forward to what the reception for that will be. I recorded that about, I think, 3 times before I finally got a version that I thought consisted of everything that I wanted to have in there. So, uh, yeah, it's a really fun way to start a month, I guess. Let me see, I'm in here yet. It's just me sitting in my own little YouTube bubble. That'd be funny if I do a live show where nobody comes for, like, let's say 20 or 30 minutes. It's like, all right, I guess the show's over. I can go do something else. It'll be really amusing. Just like, you sit here and you get all prepared. I have a little set and stage and crew, and then all of a sudden no one appears. Like, oh, well, I guess I can go sit and play some games or something. Oh, damn it. Oh my God, Ruben, I'll have to start this again. I didn't even know that thing. Wait a second, let me see. I'll replay it. Actually, going to do this earlier than usual, and then okay, I don't think it was. Hold on, man. Let me make sure. I don't want to have this be a. I had this thing playing in the background, but I had the audio all the way down, so I didn't notice it. Let me see if you can actually hear it on the version of this. Okay, to leave, backtrack from booing Clinton. Yeah, I expected that. All the progressives are basically cowards at this point. They take stand for like 5 seconds and they go right back to trying to kiss up the people who hate them for their positions anyway. Yeah, it's okay. Well, I guess that didn't come through. I was about to start the stream up again. I have to restart it. Oh man, those are kind of mistakes that I mean, they're preventable, but they just slip past me sometimes. It happens. So this will be the week that the Giuliani documentary comes out. I will give an explanation for why that's taken as long as it has. Basically, every uh, part of it that I have finished are my physical appearances. So where I'm on camera and I'm talking about whatever issues are in the video itself, and the script I haven't recorded or rather I record. Wow, it just went from 5 to 2. Damn. But I was saying the script is only partially recorded because a lot of times when I try to record, I have someone that's around. Okay, Ruben says it was grandstanding anyway. She shouldn't have done it to begin with, especially if she was going to backtrack anyway. Well, that's something that what Warren did as well. Oh yeah, they rigged the primary against Bernie 2 days later. Oh no, it wasn't rigged. Never seen Sweet Devil before. This is a brand new character. I'm so excited to see what they write. I'm waiting with bated breath. Put this charger on here. Also, I have a video about David Pakman that I'll put out this week. I was gonna put it out today, but I just couldn't get around to editing it, so I'll do it this week. And it's about some a scandal that he not even really something he did, but basically this woman he responded to in a very civilized manner, a lot more civil than I think I would have done, and she tried to ruin his life. So we'll talk about that on probably Tuesday or Wednesday. It's a nice little upload. It's a little bit longer than the usual stuff of 3 4 minutes of me talking about the news and then that's it. Also, Ruben, I did look up some stuff on Schiff, and I have to say he is a somewhat interesting guy. He was the youngest state legislator at the time he was in office initially. So I'll definitely dig for some more stuff as the week proceeds. And again, I'm gonna make it to where it starts with from the beginning of his life to when Obama leaves office, and then if we do a part two ever, if I feel compelled to eventually, we'll have all this stuff with Trump and whatnot. I'm done with Warren after her draconian demands for even more censorship. Warren is not just rotten; she is dangerous. Hey, you sound like me when I was done with Sherrod Brown, my used to be favorite senator on trade on that position when he endorsed the USMCA, aka NAFTA 2.0. I put an amendment in the bill and now it's good. No, it's not. That's like me saying I signed. Oh, we're taking the same paper that was horribly written before, but now I've put my signature on it. So please say it's good now. No, it's still bad. Yeah, Warren is she's a really frustrating politician because I can, unlike most of the other Democrats, actually name stuff she's done that I like, and then it's like she just wants to ruin it. And it's always through something that's not necessary. Like you had the Native American controversy, and then you've got lying on Sanders to boost her own poll numbers. I mean, it's just like, come on, man. And Sweet Devil came in here, said bye, and said hi, and then disappeared. Warren brings great shame to the Washington Redskins tribe. I don't know who she's making proud, not me. I don't even think they're proud of her. I think it's just shame everywhere. So she's probably not really appealing to anyone at this point. That's why her poll numbers started dropping like crazy. Lied about coming from a yeah. I remember I saw that commercial. My dad was a janitor. Personally, if it was me, I wouldn't even be talking about my any relative, and because it has nothing to do with policy. That's one of the good things that Sanders had initially, that he would not talk about random family members. It just has nothing to do with the issues. And especially, it's even worse that she mentioned it now because we caught her in a lie. She got revealed. There we go. Hey, Ruben's tongue got tied. He doesn't know what else to say. He ran out of words. The resistance are having an emergency crisis now that they realize that the never Trumps won't support anyone other than Biden. Well, aren't all those people just having a big problem because the impeachment is basically just going to get dropped like all the other ones? So basically, nothing is going their way right now. Like, imagine the same day Sanders wins the Iowa caucus, Trump's impeachment dies, and it's just like, oh man, that would be lovely. Well, that would be funny to watch their reaction. Oh my God, my moderate didn't win the primary, and uh, oh, Trump didn't get removed from office, even though all the Republicans never signaled that they would vote against him. Huh? Oh, I know they won't. She's screwed both ways. She's like the Susan Collins of progressives. Except unlike Collins, I have no sympathy. Because progressives actually have been really forgiving to her for the most part. Like a lot of them got over not endorsing Sanders during the last primary, and a lot of them got over her voting for Trump's military budgets. But this is the nail in the coffin. That's it. Rubio did a reverse Gabbard vote on impeachment vote. Oh, I didn't see that. I just know that Murkowski is getting pissed on right now by some progressives or liberals for not voting to allow witnesses. I really should close the comment section. It's always just stupid stuff. Like the only response on the Collins upload was her career is over, which has nothing to do with anything that I said, and that comment literally could have been written anywhere else. So I don't really see like how it was even worth having there. That's why I said a lot of people on here just kind of write the same stuff over and over again, a little loop. Oh, for that romance thing, I'll give you one hint for what it actually is because I still want to keep it somewhat of a surprise. When I was talking to the lady lacking logic, she was like, what was that nonsense she said? Oh, because I pointed out how she kept talking about at a certain age stuff happens. Like, well, then why did you have people who get a first date on all kind of different ages? And she's like, the way you strike me, it doesn't sound like you're just looking for a date. And I said, well, if I tell you and the rest of these whores that I'm just looking for a date, and then you say internally, I don't think he is, that sounds like a problem with you. Like that, that's not what I'm signaling. You're the one choosing to read it to be something different than what it is. That's like going to McDonald's and ordering a burger, and then the manager is like, I know you said you wanted a burger, but we felt compelled to give you a shake. It's like, I just said I wanted something, or I specified what it was and giving it something else. It was Ventura who was the Green Party guy crapping on Collins that I told you the other day. Oh no. Next thing you know, you'll be telling me that Dennis Kucinich is going after Murkowski, and then the whole betrayal will be complete. This guy really came in here just to write one comment. That's crazy. I got so excited and he just disappeared. Well, if you have any stories, I'd love to hear them. It would definitely be something really interesting to listen to because you usually don't speak on the well, it's kind of like a generalized thing. It's not really like, oh, this one chick did this and that chick did that. So if you have anything to say, it will be very appealing. I'll read it. I was just saying that that's one of the hints that I was going to give for this week's romance upload, and I'm finally going to put out that 17 video as well. So that's one more thing that can be added to the finished list. Well, Ruben, this one actually complained about going on. So the exact same person that said that other thing, she complained about going on Tinder and having men ask her, "Do you do anal?" and all this other sexual stuff. And then when she meets a person who speaks to her for a prolific period and doesn't ask her any of that sexual crap, he gets the same result. That's why I told you people make stuff that doesn't matter seem like it's so consequential. Oh my god, I'm so grossed out that this man would talk to me this way. And then somebody else doesn't talk to her that way and they get the same thing. It's just like when they would tell my best friend who is 5'7", it's because you're short. And then I would literally get the exact same result despite being above average height. Yeah, that's why I don't waste my time with them. I mean, really, everybody on there is just if they're not a horny prick, they're just there to be stupid behind a computer. What if they're using the mobile version? What if it's behind a phone? You didn't think about that, did you? Ruben, stop writing comments. I remember there was this one time I was at the library, and this guy was on a. It wasn't a porn site because the chicks had clothes on. He was looking at pictures of some broad, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I found one." And then as he was doing that, these two elderly people came on the side of him and told him to shut up because they were using the computers right next to him. He just sounded so delighted. Tinder's trash. I haven't seen Manny in a while. Manny's gonna get another romance video. That's why he decided to appear again. A lot of commenters in those websites are bots. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they have a little. And I actually have seen that firsthand. They have some of those on Skype, and then they really think they're slick. Hello, I saw your avatar and felt so compelled to speak to you. And they never want to get on camera or have a call. Just it always is typing. That's why I say I'm tired of the red herring. But they really think that people are stupid. Oh yes, I find you so appealing. That's why I don't want to speak to you by voice. Like, yeah. Oh, I read that wrong. Manny really said Tinder's treasure. He said that's the paradise of all the chicks. You find the best ones on there. I mistook his comment for something else. That's my mistake. Let's see. Um, I'm playing Call of Duty, so I'm not too chatty tonight. Oh, it's all right. You can play your game. I'm just so disappointed because I wanted to speak to you. I guess I'll just sit here and hope and pray that your gameplay is so thrilling. That one resistance account that showed up here the other day looked like a bot. Um, yeah, but people are weird like that. They type stuff that has nothing to do with anything in the chat all the time. How's my day going? Well, I'm a little disappointed. We ended up streaming later than usual because of the unforeseen circumstances. So, I like to believe that if I had done this at 6 instead of 7, we probably would go from 5 to 10 or something, or 5 to 8. We could be 4/5 of the way to 10. I could say yes, my largest audience. Let's see. Where's this comment? I think I misread something. Okay, yeah, I read Ruben's comment. Good. I didn't want him to feel as if he was being neglected. They want him to think that everybody else was getting their comment read except for him. I'm just done with every website. That's crazy. Like this is literally the only one where I'm just still going to it. We got this right here. Uh, how was your day? And that was the last comment that was directed toward me. Now it's just other people writing all kind of stuff. They really turned the chat into some kind of confession booth. Like I'm just gonna read the chat one day. Last week I went to the bar and I bought a beer and I sat alone. I'll just sit there, scratch my head. What does this have to do with me? Like Ruben said, I remember this chick that I used to like, but didn't like me back. Ended up becoming a psycho obsessed chick with the guy that she did end up with, who ended up becoming one of my few school friends. There was some broad like that that was messing with, I think one of my relatives, like one of my cousins or something, where he was talking about, she was like, I'm in bed naked right now. And he said, I don't care. That's the best thing in the world, seeing broads get turned down. It's like Christmas, early holiday festivities. I mean, just if you had seen the just disgust that he showed toward this chick, it was perfect. He was like, "Why are you being so mean to me?" And he said, "Because I don't like you." I wish I could have gotten like copies of the messages he wrote with him and her. It was perfect. It's just such a nice role reversal because you really don't see that often. I don't even think I've done that as much for as many of them as I've spoken to. The closest I came to that is probably with the Laylek and Logic because she got roasted after we met in person. I just said, all right, well then we have nothing to lose. This half of those women won't even shake my hand, and she thinks I'm gonna stay friends with her. You're sorely mistaken. Let's see. It's too bad Envoy's playing Call of Duty. I was so excited to see what he would write. That was the main thing I was thinking about today. What will Envoy write in the chat? I wonder. Let's argue with Indian people online. Maybe we can find one of the extremist Hindus that I keep hearing about. Yeah, that's the weirdest thing in the world. That Modi is creepy, but then all the actual Indians I speak to, that I have no problem with. They act like normal people. Tell you that's why the heads of states are such a. It's like it's in their paperwork to just be psychotic and strange and murderous and tyrannical. I don't know what Black Pill's laughing about, but they must be very comedic because last time he laughed, it was lowercase. Now it's capital. He didn't even want to be just friends. Neither did I. Told you I could. You could take all of them and put them in the trash. They do nothing except offer a sex organ that billions of other people have, and that's supposed to be enough for some dude to try to own some excess of funds in the car and all this other. So man, you better take that to Vegas. Mm. Yeah, they're just not remotely worth doing all that stuff for. But again, I think the upload will probably better illustrate this point than right here. I don't know. The shift thing is really, I never would have thought to actually try and make anything about him because he's currently getting discussed in the news. And I can have this thing where the more a person is talked about by the mainstream political folks, I'm a lot less interested in them just in terms of covering their stuff because they feel overrated. And that kind of is what he is to an extent, but I still kind of get where Ruben was coming from when he was talking about it. Did you guys catch the parade? 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 I don't know what you're talking about. It's like you're just typing stuff. Parade. Parade? No, I'm being redundant. I'm not even going to say anything anymore. I'm just going to sit here in all of my confusion. All right, Ruben, who did you come up with this week to have something made on them possibly in the future? No, the only one I got with was a Hispanic who turned out to be one of the biggest gold diggers in U.S. history. And before someone misrepresents what I'm saying, I'm only bringing up ethnicity because you asked me what if I had dated a particular ethnicity before. I'm just so her being a gold digger has nothing to do with the the status of her begging for coins. It was just a coincidence. Oh, that's what that was. Yeah, I was really confused. I was just sitting here twirling around, trying to figure out what he was referring to. Oh, I thought you were gonna say Prescott Bush. They're the ones they like to make those little stupid theories about skull and bones and the rest of that nonsense. Let's see here. Well, let me close this. I don't know why I'm letting this thing run. Quit. Turn it off. That's the worst thing about the streams. You have to make sure that everything's working right. No bios in. I don't, that's enough nonsense. I know, Ruben. I'm just saying that I thought it would be Prescott if you wanted to discuss one of them that wasn't the younger one or 41. The younger one or 41. 41 or 43. So you surprised me. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I said, "Why would he pick that person? Why?" It doesn't make any sense. Oh, we didn't. Palestine cut off. What was it? Something with the U.S. Let me see. It was some major event that is going to get no coverage because the U.S. media is garbage. Okay, Palestinian Authority cut security ties with U.S. So thanks to that little stupid peace deal that's never going to happen, we're stuck with an agreement that has already destroyed relations for no reason. So they just screwed something else up just to have some little stupid paper come out because they know they're not going to get a peace agreement. But they pissed off Palestine more, so now that Palestine has cut off relations, they can frame it as, "Oh my God, the Palestinians want to have a conflict because they are doing more things to restrict our relations," even though you guys are the ones that made them get rid of the relations because you put out a deal that you knew wouldn't pass. Let's see here. What was the deal? The deal between Israeli and Palestine. They put out. I'm not going to explain that conflict. You can look it up. That thing's been going on for 50 years. I'm not. It's not my job to tell everybody what it is. I'm sure Ruben knows what it is. Certain stuff I don't need to be the expositor of. Oh no! Don't write that anti-Semite stuff in here. I don't bring up religion ever. The Israeli government is not Jewish. No government is any religion. Yeah, I'm not getting blamed for what someone else writes ever again. Mayor Lansky. You type his name in. Uh, let's see here. American organized crime figure. National. Ooh. Yeah, Envoy, you get in trouble for anything somebody says relating to that topic. You'll literally have someone come to this stream, screenshot where he said the whatever, and then they'll be like, Justin allows people to write anti-Semitic things in his comment section. It's like, no, I didn't. Oh, smears. I'm gonna have APAC show up on here. That'd be funny if I had like a pro-Israel channel, and every time you go on there, it's some anti-Israeli government stuff. Like they killed this many Palestinians last year, and all their little members find out that it's meant to trick them. You know, there was a time when the death penalty was abolished in the U.S. Look up Gary Gilmore. I mean, yeah, there was even a time when the U.S. didn't have a national debt. Or rather, yeah, it was all the debt was erased for 1 year under Jackson, and then it went right back to normal. The perpetual debt. Definitely. But the thing is that, we're selective on when we choose to care about it. So, if you talk about giving people free healthcare, oh my God, you're going to cost us, blah, and you're going to increase the national debt, and then you talk about bombing 8 other countries. Oh, that's all right. We can spare the cash. Yeah, that's cool. I'm not going to head out. It's my stream, but I'm not letting that be written in here because I'm not trying to get in trouble for something somebody else writes. That's why a lot of times with there's certain comments I won't read it because I'm not going to let them had a little clip like he acknowledged what this person said and legitimized it with the power of his voice. It's like, give me a break. That's like when that one guy kept spamming. Are you a member of any of the romance groups? It's like you don't see me putting their name as a hashtag. You don't nothing. But you actually think I'm part of their group. I just love that line. My team is me. Because I'm not trying to get in trouble for something somebody else said. Look at what they did to Cenk with his campaign. They got a clip of him talking to David Duke, and they cut it out to where he sarcastically says, "No, of course not," when David says he's not racist, and they're like, "He just said David Duke wasn't racist." When you can literally watch the entire video of him repeatedly calling him that. So I'm saying people look to screw, they take any angle they can. They'll take me reading one of these comments, cut out and say, Justin reveals he is anti-Semitic. No, I didn't. A lot of agencies really are monitoring videos that we watch and comments that get put. Oh, I know. Remember all those Russian bots on Twitter where they just start random arguments with people for no reason, well, to supposedly influence the election, even though if you actually know who you're voting for and steadfastly support that person, there's not much any of these online people, including myself, can really do to change that. Like, I can't make 100 accounts and spam it toward a Trump supporter, and now they're going to vote for Bernie. Yeah, I'm not getting in trouble for anything anybody else writes or reading what they wrote or whatever. Forget that. Oh, wow. What did she do, Ruben? I'm very curious. Well, to be fair, I haven't seen that much of her outside of the Yemen stuff because she was covering that a little bit. I think the year before last. So I'm very curious as to what your issue with her is. Misogynistic, girlfriendless man reveals his true. Like they're actually going to try to make me the new Hitler or something, and it'll be really funny. Again, not what Hitler did, but the that characterization because Hitler, Stalin, whatever person you think is evil, they all had a girlfriend or a wife at various points. I just love how everything has to take a sexual turn now. Like this one dude was writing a was talking about I think some cartoon, and during the while talking about, he's like, "That's why all of you guys need girlfriends." And then these other people were talking about how these voice actors were nasty uh, over. I think I think it might have. I'm pretty sure it was some kind of recordings that came out or whatever. But they were saying the voice actors were gross and how they should. That's unprofessional. And then some person went on Twitter and was like, "Go screw your body pillow." It's like, what does that have to do with anything? I have come across multiple resistance accounts to their actual bots. The resistance uses bots online the most while at the same time whining about bots the most. That sounds like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah, our boy just vanished. He's gonna leave one comment every like 15 minutes or something. I know Call of Duty was that fun. Oh, somebody finally hit the like button at last. That's why I had to turn it off. I was like, yeah, this isn't worth, because you know what they do when you do a stream, they come on there and then they start messing with it. Oh my god, it's Music Fiend. I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. This is the highlight of my day. That'd be funny if I had a series called How the US Gave, and then you would insert the country's name, and then after that would be AIDS, and you would talk about all just the history of the US with that country and how we're still over there for whatever reason. They will say anything when they lose the argument, just start cursing. Yeah, they use profanity quite often, and it's really sad because the point of profanity is to exercise frustration or anger with something. So if you make it to where it's just the main thing coming out and the point isn't there anymore, it's kind of worthless to even speak. Set it on fire. Set it on fire. Are you trying to turn me into the Human Torch? I mean, I already have people here trying to make me sound like I'm Professor X. Where if some broad says no, you can use your telepathy to make her change her mind, or the Jedi mind trick. Yeah, they make you sound like all kind of cartoon characters on here. And this is all over that one topic. Like if you talk about other stuff, people don't do this. Oh, okay. Here's Ruben's comment. Emma is just another damage control worker for the Democrats and is constantly concerned trolling her critics. Like I said, I haven't seen that much of her, so I'll take your word for it, or I'll go look into it later. Yeah, Ruben is done with Emma. He's done with AOC. He's done with Talib. He's done with Presley. He's done with. We're gonna have like a progressive party where it's just all the U.S.'s progressives in one little spot, and they're gonna be on the ban list. Like Mark Levin can show up, Ben Shapiro can show up, but not them. All the fake progressives are the only ones banned. Hey, we need a blacklist of all the crappy Hillary surrogates, the like the ones that are still around that are actively still causing issues, but no one's talking about them. So, we obviously Hillary would be on there, Wazerman Schultz would be on there, um, Tandon would be on there, Podesta, all the fiends who are supposed to be good guys, but they're not fooling us. I was never for Presley. Well, you get what I'm saying, that she's considered part of the quote unquote progressive squad, and it was someone that you were disillusioned by relatively quickly. He just went from 7 to 5. Jesus. People just they it's like they go on a date when they leave. They're like, "Hey, you wanna blow this popsicle stand?" "Yeah." And they grab each other's hand and walk out together. I had my new phone ordered from China. Why didn't you get one from Peru or Istanbul or some other place? I'm surprised we don't have more shows making that, made in China joke where they talk about the fact that on a lot of these products you'll see made in China. Like, if you just go over there, you don't have to import anything ever again. Bill Richardson, who disappeared from Earth anyway after a certain billionaire got arrested. Let me see. Oh, did you watch the that jank documentary that guy made, where they told you that they had an age restriction on there because they thought if you heard a bad word, your head was going to explode. I mean, it's true, Envoy. You look on your shirt, made in China, pants made in China, shoes made in China, socks made in China. See, Bill Richardson, the Mexico governor, Secretary of Commerce nomination. See what else is here. Yeah, he did vanish. Wow. Oh yeah, she's bad too, but I haven't seen as awful. The thing about Wazerman Schultz is that she basically hasn't really done anything. Um, well, no, I shouldn't say that because she did campaign with what's his name, Gillum, and her and Hillary decided to do events with him, and that's considered one of the things that kind of disenfranchised progressives with him, which ultimately resulted in him losing or was a factor in him losing the 2018 Florida gubernatorial election. So they're all playing together to just screw people up. Mm. Yeah, Power is another person that's kind of. I still would prefer her over, Tandon. That woman is just evil. Oh man, it's my biggest number ever. 9 people. If only we could just get one more, and then right as I say that, like 3 or 4 leave. You're like, screw this. I'm not going to help him get a tenth of 100. We're out of here. Let's see. I haven't checked. Oh, you didn't watch it? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look, again, I get they make the videos that are supposed to be anti them, but if they're playing clips and they can support their stuff with facts, I think it's at least worth hearing out because at the very least you get to watch someone that you apparently like referring to some members of TYT. Power is making a media comeback because, oh, yeah, she's doing those little stupid interviews. I personally think that Trump will get removed from office because blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I heard it all before. Like I said, they're not slick. We know what they're doing. We caught on to their scam. They're not tricking anyone. Well, they're tricking the people who watch the cable networks. Would you agree with Ruben? And Envoy just loves Call of Duty. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to play some Call of Duty music in the background. That way, he'll watch everything I put up. Or no, do like those. They actually have commentator channels, and they'll play random video games when they're talking about something else. That's another thing I've noticed. It's like the bigger you get, the more afraid you are to show your face or something. It's really weird. They're like, "Ooh, I don't want you to look at me." Oh, yeah, and again, if they're showing evidence versus just because the one good thing about his stuff being a clip show is that it makes him a lot less likely to speak off the cuff and call someone stupid or some other term that is so subjective that it kind of doesn't really land at all because it's not backed by fact. So when he was playing the clips of Jank, again, if they're put in a way to where they show hypocrisy, uh, you know, like remember the one clip of Anna saying that she was bullied for being overweight, or rather, she was called overweight as a little kid and it bothered her for so long, and fat shaming is evil. And then she called Alex Jones a fat, you know what, during the RNC debacle. Like that's hypocrisy. Dershowitz used to be a Clint. I know. That's why it's weird seeing him and Ken Starr on the same team now. I thought he's been making a fool out of himself for the last 3 years, if not longer. Oh, Ruben, you should do a top 10 senators list or like name all the senators that you like that are currently in office. Watch the only one you name is Bernie, everybody else you hate. Let me see. I actually probably could do, if I did do one on Jank, it would be in the same way as the Jimmy one, where it's just their positions per, like a fourth of the year. So it's like a 4 hour upload, or rather a 4 hour recap of each year for them. Oh, Collins, thanks to me. So I influenced you on Collins. I told you all these liberals loved her until that Kavanaugh thing happened. They were fawning over her like she was the second coming of Jesus, or she was a redeemed Anakin or something. Hey, what about Murkowski? She it's the same thing with her where she actually voted the way they wanted on the what do you call it? The Kavanaugh thing, and they're you know only now starting to get a little aggravated with because she didn't vote to have the witnesses and documents. I think it's ironic that we're just naming Republicans. Okay, so Collins, Paul, Bernie, and that's it. And I understand that people, for the most part, don't think about senators. I get that, but that's why I'm asking. What out of the 100 of them, who do you like or at least think is decent? Like, I think Merkley is decent for reasons I've given before, uh, as well as what's her name, Baldwin, yeah, from Wisconsin. That's pretty much it. Okay, so those four and no one else. So yeah, like I still, people. I guess what kills me is just seeing all those people get mad at Warren for not endorsing Bernie, and then the one person that endorses him, Merkley, gets like no love whatsoever. Even after he chose not to run against him and therefore not risk splitting the progressive vote. That's really crazy. He was considering running. Sherrod Brown was thinking of running. So we could have had a senator for all. All the senators just going at it. Okay, Collins, Murkowski, Sanders. Oh, we went from 9 to 3. Jesus. Um, and then Rand Paul. So those are your four. All right, I think we've pretty much we got the whole list now. I can't think of anyone apart from Murkowski and Merkley. I hate the rest. Oh, you hate Baldwin? What did she do? That was so vile. I think I mentioned one of the reasons I have a soft spot for her is because she was one of the first public officials, just of any holding office and whatnot, to advocate for single payer. So she wasn't like a lot of these Johnny come latelys who, once Sanders came along, decided to get involved. She was advocating for that in the early 2000s when Sanders was still basically unknown. So that's basically what I'm saying is to maybe make that be one consideration to not hate her. Booker, Brown, Gillibrand, Warren, Delusion. Wait, who's Delusion? Feinstein, Harris, Blumenthal, Toomer, Schumer. I really don't know who Delusion is. Hey, wait, do you like Markey? So the other senator from Massachusetts, because he's getting challenged by the prick Scott. You mean mass shooting Scott, the one that had what was it, 4 or 5 different national mass shootings occur while he was governor and wouldn't do anything? Let everybody just get their brains blown out all over in the place or whatever. I mean, I think I've pretty much said before that all the governors of California after Pat Brown suck because it's true. They're all so horrible after him for some reason. It would be good to go back and like do stuff like I don't know if I want to call it a documentary because I said before I might not have that much material, but it would be nice to go back and just go over each one of these people and their contributions, quote unquote, to the state. Yeah, but who's Delusion? I don't know who that is. Hey, Ruben, that means you hate both of my state senators. And the thing about it, Ruben, is that Harris was not a good attorney general nor prosecutor, but as a senator, just voting record, I kind of don't really have a problem with her at all. I mean, she co-sponsored single payer. We know that when she ran for president, she backed away from it, but she still was a co-sponsor on it. She voted against NAFTA 2.0, the USMCA, with only like what 9 other people. Um, she voted against the stupid 717 billion military budget with only what was it, like 8 people did that. All I'm saying is, as a senator, just voting record alone, I don't really have an issue with her. That doesn't mean I want her for president or anything, but just in that position, she seems to at least be a savvy enough politician to get where the winds are going. If you get what I'm saying. I hope so. I hope you don't think I'm trying to you know, make her sound like she's some great progressive or anything because she's not. But it's been a progressive voting record, is what I'm getting at. Oh yeah, I know. We've I mentioned some of them. Well, not you specifically, but just reasons why progressives get pissed off at her. So I'm definitely not one of these people that's convinced that only with not endorsing him that you just went. Ugh. Music Fiend just vanished. That's what everybody's doing tonight. They're playing the disappearing act. Who got bankrupt after failing to run for president? Uh oh, Delaney. Oh, that's why I didn't know you were because he's not a senator. Now it makes sense. That's why I was scratching my head. I was like, who is he talking about? Who is this man? Yeah, Ruben. Whenever I eventually do the Sanders documentary, that thing is going to be like. I mean, the way I want it is you get one part where it's everything up until he becomes a senator, and then no, Delaney was a congressman, and then he resigned his seat, or rather, he didn't run for another term after deciding to run for president. No, no, Maryland senators are. What's that bald-headed guy's name? I forgot his name. Let me look it up. Uh, it sucks too because I used to remember. I just know there's one of them replaced. What's her name? Mikulski. Give me a second. Oh, Cardin and Van Holen. So Cardin's the bald-headed one, and Van Holen's the new guy that replaced Murkowski. Not Murkowski, Mikulski, who was the senator for I believe 30 years. Yeah, they're both in that same neoliberal column, so I get not liking them. But yeah, whenever I do the Sanders one, it's gonna be probably maybe 6 or 7 parts on purpose because I like him. You're gonna have one part where it's everything up until he becomes a senator. Then about 9 years from when he becomes a senator in 2007 to when he runs for president, and then each year after that up until he runs again for president. No, it's going to be a really thorough examination of his career. It's probably going to be the most in-depth retrospective on just his tenure that you're ever going to see. I'm not even saying that to brag, but it's just like when I was talking about the Giuliani one. When you watch anything that comes out in the next 20 or 30 years, they're going to skim over the period where he was mayor. They're going to briefly mention crime going down and the debate over whether that was him or not who was responsible, and then they're just going to sit here and talk about his relations with Trump. Has Tim Kaine done anything significant besides being Hillary's VP pick and being just an overall neoliberal? He was a strong proponent of NAFTA, and he was the governor during Virginia Tech, and that's about it. So I hope that answers your question. I really couldn't think of anything he's done. Uh, no, I'm not on that site. Only other site I'm on is I guess technically Twitter, but I don't use my account on there because I'm done with that website after they banned me for being anti-war. They didn't ban me; they suspended my account, and I made another one, but I don't actually post anything. I just use it for access. Okay, let's make sure that I have this correct. We've got Rand, Murkowski, Collins, and Sanders, and then maybe. I mean, I want you to just. I want to make sure I'm not misstating your position, Ruben. You like Merkley and Baldwin as well, right? So I'm just trying to clarify. We really should just pick like one. Like I'm definitely doing the shift one. We should just pick one new person to just kind of throw their hat in the mix and see what we can dig up about them. Because I didn't expect to find all the stuff I did on Giuliani. There was a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have encountered when I prior to deciding to make that. And we're still getting information on them. It's a really, it's just I like doing these. They're fun and they're informative as well. And that McConnell one was horrible. We had to. There was like two books about his earlier years, and then after he becomes senator, I had to just like go through C-SPAN's videos, dig for stuff, and then go on the Senate.gov website and see what votes he had that I thought were significant. Like, oh, he was the only senator to vote against this. He was the only person, or he co-sponsored, something like that. Let me see. And we're gonna just keep having people show up and they write one comment and then they vanish. Just go. Okay, Merkley, Sanders, Baldwin, Collins, Paul, Murkowski. All right, we got the crew now. But did you get the point I was making about Harris that yeah, she was a crappy presidential candidate and is definitely not a progressive, but still has a decent voting record? I think you can like someone as a senator, but not want them to run for president because you have better options. I hope you get what I'm saying. Because I know that there are people who twist that and go, "Oh my God, he's trying to make Harris sound progressive." No, I'm not. It's just I'm not gonna, shame someone for voting the way I want them to, even if they, uh, made horrible decisions in their past positions as a public official. I don't really think I know that much about Merkley outside of him being a senator. I know that Collins comes from a political dynasty with both of her parents being, mayors at different points, as well as Paul. Yeah, I hope that someone gets rid of Schumer by primarying him, and we're able to finally oust him because he's a really ineffective party leader. I think there actually was a guy who said that um, McConnell is a powerful majority leader and Pelosi is a powerful speaker, but you can't say the same for Schumer and McCarthy, referring to Kevin. Relax, Ruben. I'm not trying to. Well, you get what I'm saying. I hope. Yeah, my point was to illustrate what was being done that was good, even if I think the person is not, someone I like or whatever. So that's that. Yeah, I really don't know much about Merkley. That's crazy. I know he's been reelected to a third term as senator, and that's about it. Not a third term. I think it was his second one. Yeah, that he's in. Where is he? Let me look. Yep. Oh, that's cool. We're getting ready to wrap this up anyway. So I'll see you tomorrow if you show up for that stream. That is. So it's all fine. But look, thank you for attending. All the four people that are still here, and the nine that were here at one point. I appreciate it, and we'll be doing this again tomorrow at a unspecified time. So I guess keep your ears open and your eyes peeled or something like that. I don't know. Have a good night.